Welcome back to the Iced Coffee Hour. My name's Nate, and so far on this podcast, I believe you guys have made $94,346.98.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
that's exactly
Wow.
it.
I'm not good at remembering these numbers.
What a good intro.
That was great.
It's the best one yet.
Thanks.
Hey, I think we should address the elephant in the room here.
There's already an elephant?
You have a tall mic stand, and we both have small ones.
I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, yeah, I wasn't the one who set up the room, Jack.
This was nuts. So we wanted to order 3 of them from Amazon, and you could get 2 of them delivered the next day. Just fine. But you throw in a third one, and then all of a sudden it was delivered on Monday. So
No, the
sorry.
actual.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
no,
like-
the actual
I'm
elephant.
behind this.
Okay, we should
Yeah.
talk about the actual elephant in the room. It's this the studio. We got a new studio. Check out
Yeah.
the behind the scenes on the Clips channel. But yeah,
Beautiful.
thanks for coming, Nate. This is huge. We've been trying to do this for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in Vegas for some reason, like every couple of months for one reason or another. So the last couple of times it didn't work out because we just had different schedules, but this time it worked out. So
It's
happy to be
exciting. Yeah, it's exciting to have you on because you're the millionaire who sold everything and now lives in a van.
I guess so. Yeah, it's a truck, but yeah, it's
That's a dream. It's a dream.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
many people, I think, just had that fantasy of just like, I'm just going to sell everything and just be on the road.
yeah, it's like probably a short-term thing. Like I need to get it out of my system and just do it in my life now because I'm 23, and I feel like it's gonna be a lot tougher to do that if I have a bunch of kids and I'm 35, and it's like I gotta take them to school and stuff. Can't move into a van then, right? So it just felt like the right time to do it for me. So
How long are you thinking about doing that, though?
I started it in May. I really don't know. Probably for like a year, and
Okay.
then after that, I'm just gonna keep it and then use it like for random vacations. You
Yeah.
know, like when I want to go somewhere, just get in the truck and just drive and go camping in it.
But you're
this-
planning on
yeah.
stopping
Like stopping the full time living in it, yes.
in 1 calendar year.
Yeah, probably like in the next 12 to 18 months, because like you couldn't do it forever. Like living in a tight space like that. Like it is nice having a kitchen and like all those other amenities. So, but it's definitely a fun life experience.
But this isn't something that you just decided. You woke up one morning, you're like, I'm going to do this. How long was the planning process? Like, what was involved? When did you first start to get this idea that you wanted to just get rid of your apartment? On the road.
Okay. It was maybe 6th grade, 7th grade. Had a really good friend, and we would just talk about, I'm gonna go live in a van one day. And then he did that like 2 years ago. And so I watched him convert his van. He did like a full conversion. He's living out in Colorado. Now he's in Utah right now. He's been doing it for a couple years. And I was like, hell, he did it. I should do it too. There wasn't a lot holding me back on it. So it was just like, it's a good time to do it.
How'd you find the van?
It's actually a truck. So it's a Ford F-250.
Okay.
I mean,
All right, okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Stop calling
I'm
it a
sorry.
van.
I mean, like
It's a truck.
it's like van life, but it's a Ford F-250. So,
Okay.
I bought it for like 19 grand right before. I think this was right before like the used car market
Yeah.
really came to like
Yeah.
a real. So it was actually a decent deal, I think, on it. And then I just put a truck cap on it. Pretty tight space. I should have driven it over here so you guys could see it.
Yeah, I would have
would've
loved
loved
to
to
have
see
seen
that.
that. Seriously.
Yeah.
Graham Stephan reacts to my truck.
It's pretty tight quarters, not gonna lie. I don't think you could fit, much in there. It's I have to be very selective about what I bring into it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, all right, I can't buy this item because it's just
Right.
there's no room. Like I need to
So
count
did-
every square inch.
Did you have to get rid of all of your possessions, or did you get like a temporary storage locker or something?
No, so my brother just bought a house, so I kind of I was like, hey Mike,
Yeah,
can I
yeah,
do, like there's obvious things that you're not gonna get rid of, like certain sentimental things, and I kind of gave him my furniture because when I broke my lease for my apartment, it was the perfect timing where he just moved into his house. So I was like, hey, do you want my couch? Do you want my like other like carpets and everything? So it worked out perfectly. So that's kind of where I put some of my stuff. Yeah.
What do you take with you?
On the road?
Yeah.
Just the basics. I mean, I have my laptop. I was gonna bring my iMac, and I was gonna put that in the truck, and it's like a
Yeah.
huge iMac. But 2 problems with that. I didn't want it to get stolen, but also it just didn't fit. Like it did not fit in the back of the truck because I can sit back there. And I can like edit videos.
Yeah.
On top of that, just some clothes. Have to do laundry like once a week because I don't have a ton of clothes. I have a cooler. I didn't put a fridge in there yet. I want to build a fridge and like a whole version 2 of the truck maybe in like a few more months. Yeah.
Now, why a truck? Why not just go like kind of glamping, get like an RV, get one of these like professional, the big things where you look at that, you're like, wow. Like they do all the vacation movies and the big, the camper,
I mean, okay. First of all, like I feel like I don't really need that. It's more fun to be more stealth when you're doing it. So I can just pull up and park anywhere and just sleep in it because nobody expects somebody to be sleeping in the back of a truck. Like it looks very normal. And also, I want to just be able to use the truck. After I'm done with this whole time in my life, I'll probably just take the cap off the truck, use it as a regular truck for work and for hauling stuff around. So that was kind of the reasoning behind that.
Do you think that you're saving money by living in the truck, or do you think that you're like going out to eat all the time? Because I can imagine it'd probably be difficult, like making breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a truck.
It depends because there's times when I'm in the truck and I'm out on government land and it's like, there's nothing around. And
Right.
I'll be out there for a week or two at a time and there's like absolutely nothing. You couldn't possibly spend money. So those are the times when I save money. But then also, of course, like if for example, I'm in Vegas right now and I got a hotel because I'm not going to sleep in it in Vegas. And I was coming from LA, got a hotel there too. So overall, I would say the lifestyle probably is actually more expensive. It guzzles gas. It gets like not good gas mileage.
It's more expensive to live in a car than it is in an apartment.
I would actually say yes. If you're moving around a lot,
Yeah.
I would probably say it's pretty close. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it usually ends up being that. If you're
Right.
like, oh, I'm going to go to Colorado this week, and that's going to cost you $200 in gas or something.
You're not necessarily living in the truck to save money.
Yeah,
You're
no,
just doing
exactly,
it.
yeah,
And-
yeah,
right.
yeah.
If someone could do that if they wanted to. But
Yeah.
I feel like the question we're all, dying to ask here, you too, Graham,
Me?
is Alex
All right.
too.
Oh.
Say you meet a girl you fancy, okay? What do you do? Because I'm in a struggle right now. I can't really, a girl that I may like, I can't bring her here because it's someone else's house.
I told Jack he can't bring randoms home. That's the thing.
That's
It's
not
like,
even the type of guy I am. So
know,
you were
but here's the thing,
putting
I
that
don't
assumption
want-
out there in the
but,
first
but
place.
but I'm not saying even if you meet her like on a first date, come back to the house, like you don't know somebody really until like a few dates in. I told you I just go on a few dates, and then after a few dates, you kind of feel the situation out. Then you could bring her back here.
You're bringing her out on the first date? Or you're bringing her back on the first date?
No, I'm not. He's just saying that I would.
I'm not saying you would.
That's the first thing you told me.
I just said the
When
condition was,
that
go
makes
on a
sense,
date
yeah,
or two, feel them out. Just don't meet someone, then
I'm not
bring
gonna
them back
feel
here.
them out, man. That's
Yeah.
weird.
wait a
Don't feel
minute.
it,
yeah. You got is that
Cancel
right?
it, cancel.
Yeah. You might be thinking I'm like you, Graham. I'm not. But so what do you do when you know?
I built the truck for one person. Not gonna lie, there's no room for anybody else in the truck.
Has there been?
No.
No, it's cool, man.
No. There's
You can tell
actually
us.
I really regret not bringing it over because you guys would see like
Yeah.
the bed is like this wide,
Right.
And dude, there's no room for.
But what if
there's barely room for
Yeah,
me.
but what if you met the perfect person? You guys hit it off.
I don't know.
Has
I think
it
I would-
happened?
I would cross that bridge when I get to it. So, yeah.
Tell us about your first night, though. Your first night living in the truck.
Yeah, the first night I
Where'd
was
you
in,
go?
I slept in a Walmart parking lot in Tennessee.
So you got out of your posh apartment.
Yeah, it was a Walmart parking lot in Tennessee, and it was probably a bad spot to sleep over because it was definitely sketchy. And then somebody who lived in Tennessee who like it was in the area DM'd me, and they're like, "Oh, like welcome to my town" or something because I posted something on my Instagram story. And I said, "Yeah, I slept at the Walmart last night," and they're like, "Oh my God, like that's the worst part of town. Like you don't want to be." So yeah, that was the first night. But usually it's pretty safe. I guess. I mean, I'm still here, so.
Did you ever reevaluate like what am I doing this? This maybe I got in over my head?
No, I don't think so.
First, I want to thank our sponsor, Ladder. I want to talk for a minute about the things that have fundamentally changed the way that we live. These are disruptors. These are things like smartphones, streaming services, and whiter than white paint that actually cools down buildings, and even things like commission-free trading. Another one I heard of recently is a company called Ladder, who basically took the life insurance industry, flipped it upside down, and shook out all of the inefficiencies. Before Ladder, if you wanted to get life insurance, you had to drive across town, sit through a sales pitch, fill out a ton of paperwork, and then wait 6 to 8 weeks to find find out if you're approved. Alex, can you wait 6 to 8 weeks for that?
6 to 8 weeks, no one has time for that.
Oh man, Alex, your voice sounds great, dude. Anyway, you'd also receive a zillion phone calls from agents trying to bundle your life insurance with things like car insurance. Now with Ladder, you can get fast and affordable term life insurance without leaving home. It is 100% digital when you apply for $3 million or less in coverage. No doctors, no needles, no paperwork. So if you're between the ages of 20 and 60, you need coverage and want to team up with a company that's redeeming life insurance, choose Ladder. When I went to Ladder to get my quotes, they were so easy. I was able to do it right from my phone in just minutes. Quit wasting time and check out Ladder today to see if you're instantly approved. Go to ladderlife.com/iced coffee. That's ladder, LADDER, life.com/iced coffee. Ladderlife.com/iced coffee. Thank you so much, Ladder, for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show.
So let's talk about your financials. How do you make money
Oh,
during this entire process?
yeah. So, I mean, I still do have YouTube videos. I mean, I make maybe one a month now, right? But the videos, like, I have videos from 3 or 4 years ago that are still getting views. So it's kind of weird. I mean, that my personal brand YouTube channel is still, like covers all the bills that I might need.
What is it making these days?
The ad revenue on it, definitely
Yeah.
went down a lot because I don't post anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's like 17 or 18 grand. In
That's-
28
Wow,
days.
that's
That's
good.
incredible.
Yeah.
Really? I thought
That's
you guys were gonna.
really no. That's really good.
gosh, to post once a month.
Yeah,
And then make 18
like
grand.
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I can show you if you
I
want.
would,
like,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's just like old videos that
Last time I remember, we had you on about a year ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think you were doing like 40, 50
yeah.
a month on your channel back then.
Yeah.
And you were
so-
posting like every other week, I think, or every like
Probably
third
about,
week.
yeah.
And you're
back
also
then,
making
yeah, let's
like
see.
totally different content, like not
Right.
money content.
Yeah, it doesn't make as
Whoops.
much
Oops. Sorry.
because I just kind of wanted to go for the lifestyle content that I wanted to make, and I kind of just do the channel for fun now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're making content like the top books that I want to.
Yeah, it's just whatever I wanna do, like,
I live in my truck or whatever. Like
yeah,
all that content.
I feel like I would get bored with it if I was making the same content that I was making 2 or 3 years ago.
This is awesome. I mean, you're living by the saying like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah. I mean, hey, the way I look at it is like as long as I'm in the green every month and as long as revenue's growing every month, then I'm cool.
Is it still growing every month?
Not my personal brand necessarily, but in total, just from any other stuff that's going on.
Any other stuff?
Well, yeah, tell us about
Yeah,
this
what's
other
this-
stuff
yeah.
that's going on.
Yeah, there's just always projects, like I have some other channels I've been working on.
Really?
Yeah, outsourcing and
Wait a second. What other channels? I thought you only had one channel.
Well, he has the Nate O'Brien show, right?
oh yeah,
Or the other one.
I do have that one. Yeah,
Yeah. And then don't you have one with your brother?
I do. Yeah, I have that one too. Yeah, and then I have a yeah.
That's all of them?
No, tell us about the other channel. You're holding something back.
No, I'm not holding anything back. I'm just there's definitely like I'm always working on something, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna just sit around and do nothing. So there's always like investments and things. I've been spending a lot more time doing like active investments
Right.
and just other ways to make money,
Yeah. I know you went in on the AMC BlackBerry Nokia thing, right? You comfortable talking about that?
Yeah, I can talk about that. Yeah, that was fun.
I don't know about this.
Yeah.
What is it?
And Build-A-Bear too.
Build-A-Bear.
yeah.
Wait a
Build-A-Bear-
second. Yeah.
Build-A-Bear, yeah, that was probably one of my better trades that I've made.
So tell us a little bit about what happened there.
Yeah. Walk us through the very beginning,
okay,
how you
okay.
found it, where you
Okay.
saw it. Let's hear this.
So it started with Brian Jung called me up one day. It was January, like early January, and he's like, "Nate, there's something brewing. Look at GameStop. It's like going up, 10% every day." And he was like, still, I don't know what the price of GameStop was at the moment, but it was just brewing on Wall Street Bets. It was picking up steam, and then we started to look at it, and we realized AMC was next.
Why?
So-
How do you
so-
realize AMC was next?
You could just see it brewing. Like it's so hard to.
Right,
Okay.
right.
First of all, I'm not just a degenerate gambler. I have two like portfolios. I have my real like investment portfolio, and then I have my sort of like swing trade, sort of
Gambler.
gambling
Yeah,
portfolio. I
yeah.
guess you could
Okay.
say.
All
It's
right.
like a lot smaller. but-
Speculative.
yeah, speculative. That's
My
the
risky
word for
portfolio.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
And so we saw it brewing with AMC, and it was like $3 a share. This was like so early on, and we just were like, I can't believe we found this. Like it's gonna pop. So what happened is I then put in, like, I was so confident on it. I put in an order for 60,000 shares.
So what?
$180,000.
Wait, wait,
We'll
wait.
round it up to
Hold on.
200 grand.
So,
Yeah.
so I put in an order for 60,000 shares of AMC, went to bed, and I think it was a market order. But then like I woke up in a panic at like 5 a.m. and I was like, I cannot do this. This is like too much speculation here. So I canceled the order, changed it to 6,000 shares. Yeah, I know. And so I think if those 60,000 shares, if I would have actually bought those at $3, that would have been went from $3 to peaked at like $60 a share, right? So it would have been what, like
20x. So
yeah, it would
4
have been
million.
like like a few million.
Yeah, but you can never look at it like
Yeah,
that because
right.
you wouldn't have sold it necessarily.
You're
the
lucky
big-
you still got in.
Yeah, I got in. I got in so early. I got lucky with that. Yeah, Nokia and BlackBerry. I think I post those on like my close friend story sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't publicize it to like my followers because I don't want to like.
Influence people.
Yeah, I don't want to influence people, and it's because it's my speculative portfolio. It's really like, yeah, I'm not going to publicize that. I think also Chris Camillo, right? He made like $1 million or $2 million off of that trade as well. Like he did the same thing. He bought AMC like so early on, and then it like
So-
you can just see
yeah.
it. Like you can see it coming up. You know.
So what did you sell the AMC at? Are you still holding it?
This was after the little fiasco with the brokerage companies, saying, "Oh, we're gonna
Yeah.
like outbound only. You're only allowed to sell."
Yeah.
So I kind of like got hurt by that, but I don't know exactly how much I made. I mean, it was I probably sold it for like $10, $12 maybe a share. Definitely profit because I got in so early. I mean,
Right.
so many people lost so much money. And I think just like as a side note, if you got like as a good indicator too of when to get out of any type of like swing trade or meme trade, just whenever Dave Portnoy buys, that's when you sell. That's when you're at the top. Like with SafeMoon, remember he was like,
Yeah.
I'm going all in on SafeMoon. Next day down like 70%.
You know what I think it is? Yeah, that's a good indicator. By the time it ends up on CNBC, it's
Yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
Always CNBC. CNBC was the front page headline everywhere when Robinhood went up to like $70 a share.
Mm-hmm.
That was the peak of the market right there.
Yeah, and it's like really tough. That's why it's my speculative portfolio because there's definitely like a certain amount of like you can have a good hunch, you can have a good understanding of it, you think, but it's still like you got to be on the right side of the momentum.
What did that portfolio start at? Like, what was the amount that you put in? You're like, this is how much I'm going to risk.
It was probably like a couple 100,000.
Okay.
Like it was both. Yeah, like most of that portfolio when I started, it was like I'm dedicating this. It was like that 180 I was gonna do for AMC.
Yeah.
So it's like about what it started with, probably 200.
And then now, what's it worth?
Okay, so interesting. So it definitely it went up to like a few 100,000 after the whole thing. Like it still ended up in the green. Not as much as I was at like peak. I was up I think I doubled my money on Nokia in like 5 minutes. It went from $4 to $8 a share, and I made like 136 grand on that. And then it came down. But okay, so then eventually I was up maybe like 100,000 or so, just estimated. And then the meme stuff died down. I sold before, didn't get left holding the bag on that. And then you could see it brewing again in like April and May. I remember I was on the subway in New York and I just overheard these transit workers talking about AMC coming back. And so I then went back and bought 12,000 shares of AMC at like $9 a share in May after it came all the way back down.
Yeah.
Sold it at 11, and then I bought Build-A-Bear with the money that I used for AMC.
Wow. So you're just
I
browsing
sound like
Wall
a
Street
gambler
bets
here, but this
all
is
day. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, this is really just like the fun portfolio that
Be reasonable, everyone. Definitely.
Yeah. But also like there are certain times when you just like you have such high conviction on something. And I've really watched a lot of the Dumb Money guys videos. I think it's really great. And Chris has some great points. And there's times when you just have like such like strong conviction on something like with Build-A-Bear, which sounded crazy at the moment before they released their earnings back in May. But I think it's good to go in pretty heavy when you have like really strong confidence on something.
Do you think the whole momentum thing is starting to like fizzle down a little bit?
Yeah, right now.
Seems like it is.
I see no reason why it wouldn't be back at some point in the future. Like there's no catalyst to like stop it from being back. I think the thing that'll stop like the whole meme stuff where just like some random stock goes up to hundreds of dollars is some type of regulation. And I know the SEC was talking about that. I think it was the SEC or whoever's in charge of that was talking about like potentially like how do we prevent securities from getting totally manipulated by just like people. It's like a collective, like people just pumping something up.
What are your thoughts about that? Because you do have these big people with these huge platforms. They're like, you know what? I like this stock a lot. I'm all in on it. And they could very easily manipulate the price without actually manipulating the price. This is just sharing their opinion. But at what point does that become price manipulation? Like when you have 1 million followers, 10 million, 20 million?
And that's why, because I don't have the answer to that, that's why I don't talk about my trades ever, like publicly, because I don't even want to have like anything, like any problem, you know, I don't want to have even like the slight doubt that like, oh, I moved a stock, right? Because I think I, like, not bragging, but like I'm pretty sure if I start posting stuff about, hey, I'm buying this small cap stock, like it's gonna move, especially if it's like a $200 million company. Like it doesn't take a lot if it's really low volume. Usually, it doesn't take a lot to move that stock.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out eventually, because if your Uncle Jimbo is on Facebook with like 3 followers, is like, I'm going all in on I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely
give me
the
the Fisker Hertz because it's going up 50x.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. You're like, oh, well, Uncle Jimbo, that's just fine. But meanwhile, let's say Logan Paul says the same thing, and it's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And it's just the difference of how many people are listening. But who's to say you don't say something and that goes viral, and then are you on the hook for that?
Yeah, and I think it also depends on like if you actually believe in the company and you're actually holding long term, or if you strategically like are planning on, like, people do this with crypto all the time. It's really unfortunate. You know, I see so many influencers just like pumping something up. They're like, buy this, buy this, buy this. Like, and it's, I just wouldn't want to be in that.
Right. But here's where it gets iffy too. Let's just say you have a price target of like $20 and it's a $5 stock, and you say, hey guys, I love this $5 stock. I'm going to hold it until it hits like 20 down the line. Imagine if it hits 20 the next day and they're like, wait a second, I already hit my price target. I'm going to sell.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm not a lawyer, so I don't really know what the laws are on that, so I just avoid.
That's smart. Yeah. What's in your other portfolio?
It's mostly just like index funds, you know, VU, the simple ones like that. I bought Jets index fund. I probably should have unloaded that like a couple months ago, because that's actually down since I went into it last year. You know, it was up quite a bit. Like it was just like the airline ETF, but they've been having some trouble lately. Yeah, it's a lot of those companies, you know, Walmart, Penn National Gaming, you know, a couple of the FANGs. But I'm trying to really like consolidate things, and so that I don't have to actively, you know, listen in on the earnings call from like 20 different companies, because I just feel like I don't have the time for that now. And I think it'd be foolish to sort of blindly invest into like random companies like Apple, for example. I'm probably not going to like sit down and listen to their earnings, so I'm not going to go buy their stock.
Are you not focusing so much anymore on the financials of your life? Because I remember last time we met you, it was interesting meeting a personal finance YouTuber that didn't care so much about like saving like a little bit of money here, or like spending money here, or raising your income so much. And that was fascinating for me to see, because I'm not used to it. Are you still kind of similar to that? And Graham was baffled at that, because it's like the opposite of Graham, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a saying where it's like you never see like a U-Haul being towed by a hearse or something, right? Like you can't really bring your stuff with you, and like in terms of money, you know, I feel like I'm at a good spot. I'm pretty content with it. And as long as I have more money next year than I have this year, then I'm happy, you know? And it doesn't have to be, you know, 10x growth every year for the next 20 years. Like, I don't need to be a billionaire. Pretty content with where I am.
Do you have any like money goal or anything, like a net worth goal or anything that once you hit that, you'll definitely like chill out? Or
not really. I did set those goals like when I was younger, when I was like 17, and when I was in college. I was like, all right, I need to make $1 million by the time I'm 21. And then I think once you get to a certain threshold, everybody has a different threshold. For me, I think you only really need, I shouldn't say only, but like that's the wrong way to put it.
Let's hear it.
That's the wrong way to put it. But like, I think you really only need like $1 million to be set for life.
Depends on the area.
Yeah.
$1 million in California, first of all, they're going to take like 30% in tax.
Yeah.
Cost of living is atrocious. Gas now, by the way, in California started reaching $6 a gallon.
I paid $5.
I paid $5.40 on my way here. I just drove in from LA.
Wow. Yeah.
Was it in Bishop?
It was on the border between Nevada and California, and I had like 10 miles left. Like I was like, I need to get gas.
Yeah.
They get you. Yeah, I saw a picture. I think it was on CNN at the Beverly Center in LA. It was like $6.19 for premium.
Wow.
$6 for gas for a gallon.
Inflation.
It's wild.
I mean, supply or what, I don't know what, but yeah, definitely everything's going up.
Yeah. But $1 million could take you pretty far in a lot of states.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
I think if you're a coastal state, New York, California, maybe some more expensive cities, it doesn't.
Yeah. But I guess like kind of just the way I viewed it is like, like if I had $1 million, I could just live, and I don't have to do crazy things. Like I don't need to spend a lot of money, and I'll still be pretty content. So, yeah.
So what are you spending your time doing these days, aside from traveling in the car? Like, there's got to be some.
Just a lot of thinking, I guess. Meditating, thinking more.
What do you think
And also
about?
just
Yeah.
like socializing too. You know, I like a lot of networking actually. I feel like I go out to dinners quite a bit with YouTubers because I travel a lot. There's always like other YouTubers or business people in any any city that I go to. So it's always, I love meeting people, making connections with people, and just making more friends. Yeah.
What do you think about mostly?
Just life. Sometimes I don't even think. I don't know if I should say that. It makes me sound stupid, but like just like really clearing your mind and just being able to like really relax and just like enjoy the world.
Just existing.
Yeah, just like existing. Some people probably don't understand what I'm saying there, but like, yeah, just existing, just living life.
What's the biggest thing you've learned from that experience so far?
Probably that. I mean, you can be content like anywhere that you are. Like when I'm in my truck in the mountains somewhere, I don't really need like items and stuff. I don't really need a lot, and just living life. Yeah.
Have you ever had any dangerous situations or anything that kind of freaked you out?
There were times, yeah, where like I can lock my truck from the inside and everything, but yeah, there's times where you don't have cell service and you're in the middle of nowhere. Nobody can hear you scream. So, but otherwise, I mean, I'm still here, so I feel pretty mostly safe. Yeah.
Shouldn't there be something where if you are in a position like that, like no cell service, like if your car broke down or something like that, shouldn't there be something like where you could press a button and it sends a GPS signal?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I should definitely get one of those.
You should get a few flares.
Yeah, some flares. Yeah. Couldn't light those in this area. You get wildfires.
Right.
Yeah, I should probably get one of those. I mean, I guess like I don't even have a spare tire. I have to get one of those because if I break that, like if I get a flat, I'm screwed. I'd have to hitchhike somewhere. So,
Have you ever had to hitchhike?
only in Yosemite. So, and that's like a really safe place to hitchhike. You know, I think. Yeah, like you're not gonna get killed in Yosemite. So, hitchhiking can be a little bit weird though. I kind of want to do it, but I feel like you need to do it with somebody else.
I feel like it used to be safer.
Yeah.
And now it's a little dangerous. And you also have to think about the type of person that would pick up a hitchhiker.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, have you never picked up a hitchhiker?
No.
I've wanted to, but I was usually in the car with my parents, and you don't really want to bring a random person into a close quarter with your child. You know?
Yeah.
I would pick up Danny Duncan. If you see him on the side, he hitchhiked.
Well,
Didn't-
yeah,
Didn't he do that from Florida to California?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I
the
feel like-
entire
Yeah, you probably
way.
got
If I saw him-
recognized a lot. People are
Yeah.
like, oh, that's Danny. And it's, yeah. But I picked somebody up once when I was in Colorado, like 2 months ago. I think it was 2 months. It was in May. It's like, yeah, you can hop in the back of the truck. So, not going to kill
Well, that's
you.
good. Yeah, you
Yeah,
want
it's
to
like
have
you
some
keep a
space
separate
between.
compartment there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just trying to get like 20 miles down the road.
Yeah.
So.
So what about loneliness? If you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, no one's around for like a week on end.
Yeah, I think a week is like a good time. Over a week, yeah, I'm sure you could get lonely, but I feel like I just have friends like in most places, so I'm always hanging out with people. In a lot of cases too, I'll like meet up with people who are also doing van life and living in their cars and stuff and camping. So and also I'm pretty introverted, so I'm like I get a lot of energy by being by myself. So I've never really had any problems with that. Yeah.
That's fascinating. You think you could do that, Graham?
I think for a few days. I could definitely do a few days at a time. I don't think I could do a full week. So I could definitely do probably 3 to 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I would actually agree with that. Like
Yeah.
3 to 4 is a good number. I mean, I've done a week or more, but that's like a good number. And then you go back into a city somewhere, socialize,
Right.
yeah.
So how do you know where to park and sleep?
So you kind of just get to know places and like you find a good spot and like this is the spot that like, but there's an app actually, I think it's called iOverlander, that I use, and you can see, it has like a map of everything that you can use, like places to sleep, like places to park, places to take showers, do laundry, like all kinds of stuff like that, internet. So it's really, really nice. Like it's like a communal, everybody contributes to it and like, hey, this is a good spot right here. So I look at that all the time. That's how I figure out where I'm going.
Yeah, I was about to say, how do you figure out showers and stuff like that?
That's also never really been a problem. I mean, so I do like, I'll stay in like Airbnb sometimes, hotels sometimes. So like what I was saying with like how it's not
Right.
cheaper, just to like, clean up and everything. And also friends, and then using that app, like you can find places to shower. I think I need to get a gym membership at like Planet Fitness or one of those. I think that would really help like kind of give more options for that. Yeah.
I remember we did something last time you were here where we talked about the cost of your outfit.
Okay.
You wanna run us through?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I actually don't remember how much this was. I just bought this the other day at like Zara, so it was like probably like $30 or $40.
Yeah.
Just because I got to look a little fresher on the coming out of the woods or desert or whatever. So didn't want to walk around like a dirty T-shirt or something. You guys should have seen me like last week. And then I'm just wearing black pants, probably also $30 maybe, and then some socks that I borrowed from my friend.
Jack, what about your outfit? Wait, that's not the new shirt, is it? Is it?
No, this is a different shirt.
Oh, you know what we did? We gave Jack a makeover.
Oh, really?
$100
H&M.
makeover.
$100
Yeah.
makeover.
H&M.
Yeah.
Good stuff there.
Yeah.
Jack had like
I mean,
5 outfits.
Yeah.
the problem with H&M is the stuff falls apart pretty quick.
I would disagree. All of my clothes are H&M and almost everything I've had for years.
I do like their T-shirts. That's where I get my T-shirts
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
Yeah, my whole outfit's like really cheap. I think this shirt was like $10, and I think these shorts were $12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really understood the like designer clothes.
No.
Yeah, but I would see massive lines outside of them. Like I'll go to malls a lot, and I don't buy stuff. Like I hate shopping; it just like is annoying. But I'll just like walk around and just like observe like things, like how many people are going. Like I'm not counting how many people are walking into a store, but just like observe things.
Yeah.
It also helps with investing too. Like looking at Build-A-Bear, and it's like, hey, there's a decent amount of people coming in and out of there. But yeah, there's always so many people outside of the Gucci store. Louis Vuitton
Yeah.
always has a massive line for the past, really since the first stimulus check came out. And not to say there's a correlation there, but it was around that time, like when malls opened back up, and like, I definitely noticed something there.
Did you watch Meet Kevin's explanation on that? With designer
Yeah,
clothes?
I saw a lot of
about
people
it.
disagree with it too, right? On what are you talking about here? Are you talking?
So what Kevin said was when he was in Las Vegas, he went into, was it a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton or a Dior? It was one of those designer stores. He walked in and he was talking to the people about how busy they were. And he said the people who worked at the store said that they would purposely price their handbags or their items around what the stimulus check is.
Yeah.
And knowing that people would go into the store and be like, wow, this is kind of free because I got the stimulus check and this bag is like exactly $1,200. Or they would just try to upsell them a little bit. So like this one is $1,350. So technically it's only costing me an extra $150.
Yeah, I think Walmart did that as well. For maybe the first one, was the first one $600?
12. I think it
okay.
was 12.
Okay,
Yeah.
so whatever like the first one was, or there was a second one that was 600, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that one I remember seeing in the news, like, or people posting, it's like the Walmart aisles. There's just like you'd see like $600 TVs, $600 like items. So yeah, probably. I mean, I guess that's just smart business to kind of realize that like I don't know how many people got a stimulus check, but over 100 million probably. So yeah, it's smart business.
What about minimalism? Because I remember last time we spoke as well, you were like very, very into minimalism. And obviously like living in a truck, it's hard to have like quite a few things.
Yeah.
So have you gone more minimalist than the last time we spoke?
I guess so. Yeah.
And how would you say like the whole minimalism thing affects your lifestyle and your overall happiness? Like I remember I heard this one thing where I think it was like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates only has black shirts because like it's fewer decisions to be made in a day.
Zuckerberg too.
Was it Zuckerberg?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the same thing.
Exactly. So you wear the same thing every day. You remove a decision from your day so you can focus elsewhere, which is kind of smart. Like how would you say your minimalism affects your life? And would you say generally it makes you happier?
It definitely makes things a lot easier. You know, like there's so many benefits to it. Like if you have an apartment or a house and you're a minimalist, instead of decluttering every week and putting stuff back into their cabinets, back into the closets, you can just get rid of it, and you save so much time cleaning. You know, like even with my truck too, by like having not a lot in it, I can have more space, less time cleaning. And you also save money too. I don't really do it for the money side of it, but that definitely is a benefit for people. Like if you find yourself living a paycheck to paycheck, especially, and you want to cut something, just like start really thinking about, do I actually need this? Because there's always like, you know, I go to people's houses and they have like 3 different types of blenders. I don't know. I feel like you can get away with just one. So, yeah.
Wow.
Sorry,
much-
I'm not coming at anybody. If they have 3, don't.
I think we have 2 blenders.
Do we really?
We have 2. Yeah, we have
Oh,
a Magic
boy.
Bullet and we have something else. Yeah. But but they're each for a different purpose. The big
Everything can have a
blender is like
purpose,
you
yeah.
need a big blender for stuff, but the Magic Bullet's for like, you know, just on the go, just a few things.
Yeah.
It's easy. How much do you spend in a week? We got to bring that back. The what I spend in a week's.
It's so hard to gauge because there's weeks where I will literally spend $0. I mean, you know, there's probably like subscriptions or something that'll like kick in or whatever, but when I'm off the grid, $0. And then there's other times where I'm traveling a lot. Like in the past week, I definitely spent, you know, a decent amount of money because I went out to dinner last night and the night before, business meals, and, you know, hotel tonight, that was like $100 some. So there could be weeks where, you know, I'll spend like $1,000 in a week when you add everything in. Like I was just over in Europe in Airbnbs for like a month. So that probably costs at least a few $1,000s. Yeah.
What do you think the average week though? Like $1,000 a week? A 1,500?
If you're including business expenses,
Yeah.
then probably about $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, like just like business dinners or like you know, other
Business
things.
golfing, business recreation,
No, I'm really conservative.
business
with,
Chipotle.
yeah, no. I like not to get into taxes, but
Yeah.
I'm really conservative with like what I, you know, like I don't write off that much because I'm just, you know, want to
Yeah.
steer clear of any problems with that. Yeah.
Now, for your taxes, do you have to worry about being in a location for too long and like, oh, I technically I filmed a video in Montana, so now I got to file a tax return in Montana?
Yeah, I talk to my accountant about that
Yeah.
kind of stuff a lot. It does definitely, like, if I am in a place for a really long time, then I would start thinking about that. And I think there's certain places too where like you have to pay tax based off of how many days you were there, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm a Pennsylvania resident for now, so and I think I would only worry about that if I was spending like a lot of time somewhere.
Yeah. What's the state tax in Pennsylvania?
It's 3.07%.
That's the top tax rate?
Yes, for personal. So it's not terrible, really.
That's insane.
That's why
3%.
that's what is that a lot or a little?
No, a little.
really-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't changed my residency yet, because like, you know, if I was paying 10% or 13.3 in the top
Yeah.
bracket in California, I definitely would move.
Yeah.
Especially because I move around so much that it's like, why not establish residency somewhere else? You know.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I'm just curious because I think the last time we talked, you were getting close to $1 million in a year, right?
1 million subscribers
No, $1 million. Making $1
Oh, yeah?
million. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you able to cross that?
with like my
Just everything
with my
with
YouTube
gross.
channel. Or
Yeah. No. Just with everything.
everything combined.
Everything combined. Did we do that?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
With the sale of
Oh,
stock,
thanks.
right? Like that included was pretty significant, I can imagine.
Yeah, you could include that. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. I don't really call myself like a millionaire. It feels weird like saying that, but I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that.
It's weird because you're the only personal finance YouTuber. You ask a question, you're like that, and you're a little bit reserved about giving the answer, even though like you got started in finance.
Yeah, I'm a pretty private guy. I
Yeah.
feel like, you know, and people are surprised by that because I'm sitting here talking about my life, but there's a lot of things I like to keep private. You know.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Does it make you uncomfortable to talk about money and stuff like that?
It does feel weird. Like growing up, my parents never talked about money. Like I have no idea how much money they make, and they never talked about it. And that's just kind of like the culture in my family. And I think that's like how it is in a lot of households. But also, like I think it was fun to talk about it, and I would do like those income updates back in 2018,
Right.
2019.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of got to a point where it just felt weird.
Yeah.
Because like it went from people cheering you on of like, this is so cool, you're making like $6,000 a month in college, this is amazing. And I just kind of felt like, like too much like bragging almost.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's why the last one I made on income updates was like January 2020.
Yeah. I could see that. Something similar happened to me. I think originally when everyone started doing it, it was new and nobody had ever done that before. And it was like, wow, they're just like revealing all this transparency. And especially for someone like you, I think people have followed you from the very beginning and they really support like everything that you're doing and they're excited for you. And just you sharing that little victory is like, wow, if Nate could do it and he came from there and I watched his journey, then I could do something similar too. And if I follow along, like this is what's possible. So that's how I originally went into it. But then it did seem a while. Like I think the last income update, I don't know, 6 months ago, and that was a lot. I told Jack, even that one, I was like, didn't want to do it, but I had carried this on every year.
Yeah,
I may as well do one last hurrah video on that. But then after that, it's like, you're right. In the very beginning, it's fun, it's new and exciting. But then after a while, it's like, okay, this is the 20th update.
Yeah, and like those videos always do well
They
too, because
do.
people are
They
interested. Like they
do,
want to
yeah.
know, and I think it's great. Like it is good to be transparent because it's like probably thousands of people have watched your videos and then been like, I'm gonna be just like Graham, and then they went out and they did it,
I
and
know.
now they're probably almost full time, like making thousands of dollars a month because they saw you come up like this, and it inspired them. So yeah, it's great.
Now, it's fun too. In our last podcast, we were talking about videos that end up doing really well. Told me to make a video on side hustles. And back then, I told you I hated making videos on side because I feel like side hustles don't really change. The same thing. Well, I made a video about side hustles because you know what, you recommended it. That video is almost at 1 million views.
Yeah, and that's what happens too. Like I made a top 7 businesses to start in 2021, and I make those every year, and it's like, okay, like people aren't gonna watch this now. It's 2021. Like I've been making these for years.
Yeah.
And that video is doing like it gets 3,000 or 4,000 views a day for the past year. So those videos always do well.
So what are some of the top businesses to start in 2021?
Right now.
Yeah, let's talk about first side hustles.
Okay.
Maybe the top 5
Okay.
side hustles, and then we'll do the top 5 ways to make $100 a day in passive income.
Oh boy, I hope I can
Bring
come
back
up with
the
enough of
oldies.
these here because I haven't made a video like this in a long time. Usually I spend a lot of time. Like if I'm gonna make a video like that, I'm gonna spend days. Like you ask, like what do I think about? It's that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'll just like pace around all day and be like, mushroom farm,
Yeah, I remember that.
Let's see,
It's
side
clever.
hustles. I don't know who made this table, but looks a little pricey. Make his table.
Oh, you know what? I do think we got to give a huge shout out to Black Forest Wood Co. for this table. Believe it or not, they made this entirely from scratch. Look at this. You can't really see. We'll throw some B-roll on this. They included coffee inside the table, which is incredible. And then they put this cool like glaze through it. It almost looks like a river of coffee. So we're going to put their information down below in the description. You know what? We'll put up like a little thing right here. But thank you so much. And for anyone else who's interested in a table like this, they have some fantastic products.
Yeah. So what are we talking about? Side hustles?
Side hustles.
Yeah. I mean, hell, like there's anything. Like the money is everywhere and you can make money in anything. Like literally, you guys just got these, right? This
Yeah.
is black walnut, right?
Yeah.
So black walnut, that's worth a lot of money, okay? And so you can make these, right? Like I remember because when my brother and I, we had a firewood business, and sometimes we'd stumble upon like black walnut trees, and those are worth a lot of money. And we knew that we could sell these if we cut them into really large pieces, really large chunks. We could sell them to somebody who made things just like this, or made furniture, made tables, and you can get a premium for that. So like there's money everywhere. I feel like if you look at your hobbies and you analyze like what do you love doing, and then also have a lot of knowledge about, and then just find a way to monetize it. Like there's always a way. Sometimes you have to be really creative with it. But yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Just coming up with anything. Every side hustle is viable in your mind.
Yeah, like I mean, I used to sell mealworms, right? The mushroom farm didn't work out, unfortunately. Portobello mushroom farm.
Why?
Right.
By the way, of course.
Why that fail?
I mean, I was like 13, and it was hard to find customers. You know, like who's gonna buy bags of mushrooms? It sounded like a good thing in theory because Pennsylvania produces a lot of mushrooms. But it just, you know, there was also like the shiny object syndrome thing going on when I was 13. It was like I was trying to find a business. I was trying to find something. I'd get excited about something. I'd do it for 2 months and then find the next thing that looked like a better opportunity.
You know what's going to take off? I guarantee this is going to blow up. You heard it here first. Growing funguses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be a huge thing. Went to the, what was it? The farmer's market the other week. And there was a table there that was selling these kits, the grow your own fungus kits.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say, it looks so cool. And all it takes is for like a few viral TikToks to be like, look at this and they're cool looking. I mean, it looks like a piece of coral that you could grow in like no light, that's easy to take care of, that you could kind of do on your own. It doesn't take a lot of work, but you could give it the time it needs. They're just neat. It made me want to grow fungus like that. And I think a lot of these are edible. Like you could eat them, not like poisonous or anything. You're gonna like have some crazy experience, but it's just cool stuff, and they grow in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Like what is this? The putty stuff blew up. Like there are people making like 100,000 a month.
He's selling
with it.
slime.
Slime.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like the slimes, and it's just you see these Instagram things of them like kneading the slime, and it's cool to watch. Fungus. I'm telling you, I think fungus could be a big one.
Yeah, I should talk to my sister. She's going for botany for college.
Yeah.
So she loves fungus. She's always like sending me like things about mushrooms all the time. Like,
Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
I think you make a fungus kit that sends you a new type of fungus. Every
Fungus
month.
subscription.
Seriously.
No, there's so much money in fungus, seriously, because like I saw a new company that instead of packing peanuts, they use some type of like fungus or like cardboard. Like instead of cardboard, they
Is
use
it biodegradable?
Yes, totally biodegradable. I
That's
forget what it's
incredible.
called, but there's just so many new things coming out with it that it's definitely an industry that's going to blow up in the next 5-10 years.
I feel like the name fungus though could work against it. Like you don't want to like be like, yeah,
But
come check out my
fungus,
fungus
yeah.
farm. Yeah, I'm like, eating my fungus.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, that just doesn't sound very appealing.
There's
It'd
a
be hard to
lot
sell.
of fancier words for mushrooms.
Like what?
Wow, I'm blanking. Like mycelium, my what is it? What the hell?
Plant.
What is it?
Mycelium.
Alex,
Mycelium.
speaking to the mic.
It's not calibrated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Mycelium.
or, yeah, something
That
like
does
that.
sound pretty
Like,
fancy.
look at
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Is that a fungus?
Yeah. So this is
I'm speaking to the mic.
yeah. So look at this. It's called Golden Oyster Mushroom Grow Kits. $28. But look how cool that looks.
Yeah, you just throw some mushroom spores in there and gets the job done.
That's neat. And imagine
Hey, we
every
should have
month.
one of those as on the table right here.
yeah.
We should.
That
Look
would
at
be
this.
pretty cool.
That's called Lion's Mane. I want more side hustles. One more. Give
Oh
us
my
another
God.
side hustle.
Gee, I mean, you know.
18, no money. What do I do?
Okay. You got to look at your skills, obviously, and everybody's. So many people say I have no skills, like I'm totally worthless or whatever. Everybody has something that you're slightly better than the average person at, and it could be something really stupid, or it could be something like really cool. Like you could teach people how to surf. Like there's like look at all of your hobbies, and you can teach somebody how to do that. Right? You're good with guitar. Teach somebody how to play guitar. You speak, like Spanish, and you know people who want to learn Spanish. You can teach them that, right? So teaching people how to do something, great side hustle. You definitely know something that somebody's willing to pay money for. So and the great part about that is that there's really no overhead for it, right? So it's not going to cost you much money to get started with that.
That's great.
That's a great answer.
That is a
actually,
really
yeah.
good answer.
I'm a little curious, like you're talking about all your different businesses and stuff, and you say that you spend a lot of time just kind of pacing and thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you have more time, and I'm trying to get like a feel for like where does the time go? How? I mean, you drive around in your car, you sit places. I'm sure like admire views. I always see you like you're in mountain ranges and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like you,
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I mean, it's definitely like there's meetings, obviously. I'm on the phone with my brother a lot because I kind of do a lot of thinking and then he does a lot of work, I guess you could say. So we kind of work together with some business stuff.
What kind of business stuff are you working with?
Yeah, Nate, you're
I'm
holding
sorry.
something. You're
Yeah,
holding
sorry.
something
Yeah.
back. What is it?
No,
I'm
we-
trying to figure out.
Because
what
if you
it
don't
is.
want to talk about it, you don't have to talk about it.
exciting.
Just
stuff.
like a little bit. I mean, I'll just say like, yeah, we have some YouTube channels, some blogs, and then also, yeah, a lot of my time is spent like finding places to put money, I guess. So like, I don't like pumping all of my money into the S&P 500. So I'm looking for new investments. Sometimes, there's like angel investments that get pitched to us. But, more so looking for cash businesses that I can invest into. So I'm probably investing into another media company in the next couple of weeks. I'm excited about that. Probably can't talk about it like
sure.
here right now. And yeah, just like putting money into different projects and kind of like setting things up. Like we'll have some random business idea and be like, all right, we want to do this, but we don't have any more time to go and like try to build this business. So we'll just set up like a project basically, like, and we'll say, okay, we'll put 25 grand into this over the next 12 months and kind of just let it run. And then it should be profitable by that end of the 12-month period.
Now you say media company, and you say YouTube channels. Can you tell us the YouTube channels, or like
I
how
don't
about
think
the
I'm gonna go into
niche?
it.
How
No,
about the
I don't
niche?
think. I don't think so.
So, okay, so if you can't tell us the channel, is it that you're running another channel, or you have some sort of input on another channel that?
Yeah, so like
a revenue
I'm not
split?
on the channels, like
Right,
because
right.
I like being behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So we'll just hire somebody to make the content, script writers, editors, and they'll just do all of that. And it's kind of just like we'll just say like, all right, here's what we're gonna do next. Here's the next 20 videos, and go ahead and go make those.
Wow.
Yeah, and we just let them marinate for a while, like half a year or something,
How have any of them taken off?
maybe.
I am so curious.
Wow. Hey, you don't have to
Yeah,
say.
I
You don't
can-
have to say. That's
Maybe
that's
I'll,
awesome.
I'll show you guys a little bit after
Okay.
after the podcast.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
That's something that I wanted to do originally. Before I even started making YouTube videos, I wanted to do exactly that. I wanted to invest in a YouTube channel and have some just oversight. I thought a lot of channels back in like 2013 could have done so well had they just had like a business mindset.
Yeah.
And these were a lot of channels that just, they had really good content, but they had no direction in terms of like how to monetize it. They were really good at being in front of the camera. They just needed someone to take control and be like, this is how we should structure it. We're gonna do this and make a lot of money, but to split it. And what was holding a lot of people back was that they were still working jobs. Like the channel was not making any money, so they couldn't give it 100%. They were like, working a job half the day and then like going and doing this, and it just didn't turn out the
Yeah.
same. I wanted people to do it full time.
Yeah, and I guess that's where it kicks in, where it's like if you're so confident in it, you just say, "All right, I'll pay you. Like I'll make sure that you can quit your job and do
Yeah.
this full time." That's a bigger gamble, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, people do that sometimes.
Wow. All right, last question on this before we move on. Would this have been a channel that maybe I would have stumbled across? Like maybe I had seen a video or like,
Probably not. No, actually, no, definitely not.
okay.
That's awesome.
so curious.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
though. That's
congratulations.
Oh,
just, like,
thanks. Yeah.
That's so cool. It's pretty passive,
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, it's passive for me, not really for my brother that much. Like we're really good business partners, and I'm really happy that like we have such a good dynamic where it's like not. I don't know if this is a good analogy, but like let's say if a business is a car, like I'm kind of the one steering the wheel, and then he's the engine. Like he's the one doing day-to-day operations, like really like making it work. So I don't know, maybe I should pick up the slack a little bit, but
Wow. Would you say then that's like surpassed your own channel in terms
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
income? Jeez.
Wow, that is so
Mind-blowing.
cool.
I am shocked that that you're not just like dancing around about this and like screaming at the top of a mountain. This is incredible.
I don't see why I would though. Why would I publicize?
Because you're the first one that I've talked to in the entire finance niche that has managed to build a second channel outside of their own and manage it behind the scenes. You're the first person I've seen to do that.
See, it's just impressive to me that
that big.
that you were able to do it with yourself, right? And then you go and you apply all of the knowledge that you had learned, and you weren't a part of the equation at all as far as like using your current celebrity to grow the channel.
Yeah, but I think the
what's
hardest part of
big about
growing a
it.
channel is like understanding the algorithm. So I kind of got that part down by building my own channel, and then what works, what doesn't work going forward. So it's easier to just kind of like
No,
I'm sure
yeah.
finding the right
channels.
personality to be in front of the
That's
camera
what I was
is
about to
very
say.
important.
Yeah, very difficult. Yeah. If you guys notice, sometimes I'll post like things on my story with like Google Forms of like, hey, anybody looking for like freelance work?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So I just build like a big bank of like hundreds of people who can like
Wow.
be script writers, editors, be like people on camera.
See, I'm interested in just like the process, like extremely interested in the process behind like, I don't know how much of this you want to talk about. Like this to me is the most exciting thing that I think I've talked about all day here. But like the process, like what gave you the idea, like, and you don't have to reveal too much, but like also why you chose not to promote it through yourself, like why you wanted to grow it organically and not like jumpstart it from the very beginning, how you found people, how you knew that someone was going to be good in front of the camera. Did you have to let people go in the meantime? Like,
Yeah, so I mean, I'll just bring people on as like independent contractors, try out a couple people, right, and then see how they do. But I mean, so I really don't like. I don't mind being on camera, but I'm not naturally an entertainer. I'm not naturally a speaker, so I really do prefer to work on things behind the scenes.
Sure.
And there's just so much opportunity with YouTube. Like if you have all right, so let's say you have 25 grand, and you want to put it somewhere. You want to invest it somewhere without spending too much time on it. You could put it into the stock market, right? I feel like I'm already way overexposed to equities. And you could put it into real estate, you could put it in other things, maybe grow 10% per year or something. But I just feel like with our understanding, and not to say like I have a superior understanding of YouTube and the algorithm, but like I just realized that, you know, I could take 25 grand and instead of putting it in the stock market, put it into a new brand. And if that can turn 25 into say 250, like, you know, that's a better return than 10%. So that was kind of why we started doing that.
And you're also diversifying like
Right.
a lot out of the finance
Yeah.
niche. Obviously, still
People
beholden
get canceled
to
every
YouTube,
day, you know.
but-
You don't want to.
Yeah, no
that's,
kidding.
that was why. That's why we started these.
Wait, really?
No, not like the primary reason, but it was definitely like I was like, I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket.
That's true.
And I think the worst, I feel so bad for people when like they're an influencer, they're doing well, and either like, you know, something happens, whatever. I mean, usually it's their own fault anyway. But there's also times where it's like they start to slip, like their videos are not as good. People don't watch them anymore, and you can just see like they're still trying to make it, like because they quit their job, they're doing YouTube full time. 2 or 3 years later, they're not as popular. So now they're barely making enough money to make ends meet, and like they have to do it because they don't know what else to do. I feel like a lot of YouTubers get boxed in, and influencers in general, and they're like, I have to keep doing this to keep my money going so I can pay my bills. And I didn't want to be in that position.
wow. How do you know someone's going to be good in front of the camera? Do you just test things out until eventually, like you're like, that's our person?
You just got to test out.
Are you afraid? Here's a weird question. Are you afraid that the person you have in front of the camera is going to feel like they're irreplaceable after a certain amount of time, and then they're going to demand an amount that really eats into the bottom line?
No, that's why you put different people on the channels.
Are we talking multiple channels or one person per channel?
No, like multiple people per channel.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and that way it's not like it's because I can see how that'd be a problem if it was like one person and they're making all the videos. Then it's like people just associate that person with the brand. Yeah, so that could be problematic.
That's really smart.
You know what it reminds me of, and I'm not saying
Kids
this
React?
no, I'm not saying this is what you're doing. But right now the Darman style video.
What's that? What?
Really?
Darman?
I can't tell you. Maybe you're playing this. And like,
he doesn't know
No,
what Darman
I
is.
genuinely don't know what this is.
Are you
He
serious?
makes skits, basically, like really high production quality skits that are supposed to teach you some sort of lesson. And they're super cliche, super just like typical, and yeah.
But oh
very
my
successful.
gosh. So Darman on Facebook was getting like over, I think it was like 1 billion views a month. 1 billion a month on Facebook. And you know, on Facebook, the monetization is like through the roof.
Yeah.
Darman's probably making like $50 million a year, I'm guessing, just from like Facebook. His YouTube channel blew up.
Yeah.
When his YouTube channel blew up, and all of his videos, by the way, are getting like Mr. Beast style views, and he's posting like multiple times a week. And that inspired a whole bunch of copycats who realize that format's working. And then the copycats go in, and then their videos just blow up because it's just like these short little quick skits that are easily shareable. And the audience is like, you know, your parents, your grandparents, your uncle, or whatever. They'll
Boomers.
send you those videos. What?
Boomers.
It is, but you know what they're doing. You know what the boomers are doing that millennials are not? Sharing. Millennials rarely will send a video to one another, but meanwhile, it's
Share
like
videos, right?
what?
Well, millennials don't share videos.
Dude, I
Not
get
as
inundated
much.
with TikToks from people.
Yeah, I get so many TikToks.
100% TikToks, not YouTube videos though. But on Facebook, it's so easy to be like, you know, Jerry, come check this out. And it's a Darman
Jerry
video.
can not.
I don't know.
Young people not have the name Jerry.
I
I know a
don't
lot
know.
of Jerrys.
I don't know. I'm just saying it seems like that content is more easily shareable.
Yeah.
Same with TikToks, you know.
No, I do agree. Like my mom, out of everyone, does send me the most videos. Like out of everyone, my parents, yeah.
And speaking of TikToks, Macy, I checked my phone. She just sent me a TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, multiple. There's like at least 4 a day
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
like, here's a funny TikTok. But it's easy because it's like 30 seconds.
It's so addicting.
Yeah.
Like that's why I think that's why YouTube and Snapchat and Instagram, like they're all pushing these so much, you know, Reels and YouTube Shorts, because they look at how much time is being spent on TikTok and they're like, wow, like we really are dropping the ball here. We need to at least keep up with TikTok because that's the way content's going.
It's scary because YouTube is slowly getting there. I think YouTube is trying to, I don't want to say they're trying to copy the algorithm, but they're trying to create their own algorithm to compete, and they're working on it right now. Because I got to say, when Facebook first came out, when YouTube first came out with it, was not a fan. I thought like these are like silly things, and it just everything had the TikTok watermark on it. They're getting better because now I'm scrolling my homepage and I see them come up with like, it's always, you know what it is, the teeth. It's getting plaque off teeth for some reason is always the first thing, and I want to watch it because it's so satisfying to watch.
That's
So I click it, and then it ends in like 10 seconds, but it automatic before you have time to click off, it's like, here's the next one.
It's like a
and
black
they need
hole.
to hit
It's
you.
like warps time.
Yeah.
Like, I've downloaded TikTok in the past. I think I made like one TikTok one time.
I saw it.
Yeah, and I've downloaded in the past, and it's just like so addicting that I had to get rid of it because you're like, oh, just 2 minutes, whatever. Like you lay down and go to bed, you scroll, and then next thing you know, an hour and a half goes by, and you think it was 10 minutes. Like it's insane.
It's I want to see more studies on the effects of TikTok, but I could
good.
see but I could see at some point that like 10, 15 years from now, we're gonna look back at the effects of what that does to the brain. It has to, because I know even for myself, I'm not a fan of TikTok. But I know if you go on there, it's so easy. 20 minutes goes by, and I don't even like TikTok. So if that's doing it for me, imagine what it's doing for people who like always go on TikTok, and it's just like this dopamine hits, bam, bam, bam. Every like 20 seconds, you get something new that is algorithm tested. Like, what effect does that have on the rest of your life? That it's like every time your mind goes blank, open up TikTok.
It's almost like a drug, yeah. And that's something actually that I've really been focusing on the past couple of years. Is I've noticed my attention span used to be so bad. And I think, and I've explained this on my channel before, it's like if you look at movies that were made in the 1970s, like the movie Rocky versus a movie in 2021. Like in 2021, there's
Yeah, it has to be.
the screen every 3 seconds is changing. But I remember watching Rocky, and it's like there's like a 5-minute clip of him just walking down the street, like nothing happening, and I'm like, come on, like something happened, like I need something action or something. And it's just like it's getting faster and faster. Like these dopamine hits are getting like shorter and shorter and shorter. So I don't know. I feel like something has to happen.
What do you think what impact do you think that's going to have for the next generation?
I'm definitely worried. I mean, hopefully people can, and this is not like me saying that there's a right and wrong answer. If people want to go watch TikTok for 10 hours a day, they can. But I think just like realizing that it can actually be almost like an addiction. It's like, all right, I need to get rid of this, and then really just focus on like meditating actually is something that I do because it really helps with that, with my attention span.
Yeah.
And I think having a good attention span, it gives you more patience. It allows you to make decisions better. Some people say you lose your edge with it a little bit, but I think overall it has great benefits.
Reminds me a little bit of the casino, like TikTok. It's a weird comparison, but like when you walk into the casino, it's like they want to give you the right conditions of like, oh, this machine is lighting up over here. Look at all the numbers, and just making. I found it interesting. I learned this from a TikTok, believe it or not. Funny.
Nice.
But I think it was it Humphrey Yang? I
He's
think
a
it
great
was.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was going through Las Vegas, and he pointed out why a lot of casinos don't have hard turns. You'll notice they're
I
very
saw
rare.
that one. Yeah.
There's not like a right and a left. There's always like you could go kind of to the right, kind of to the left. You could go in a circle because they want to limit the amount of decisions that you have to make, and the fewer decisions you make, the more likely you are to play more.
Yeah.
They also
And you
have
get lost.
carpet. The carpet is always like a weird, like psychedelic design
Yeah.
that just like it just calms you down and makes you not think.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the carpets are always like that. Obviously, no natural light They don't want you to see
Yeah,
what time
no
it is.
clocks.
No clocks.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And I get so lost. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go outside and like go get an Uber or something, and I'll spend 15 minutes trying like
Yeah,
like
trying to find the
I'll walk
outside.
a mile
Yeah.
to try to find it. So that's also probably one of their strategies as well. Just make it confusing.
Yeah, but it reminds me of TikTok. They have this dialed in to be like, I'm going to show you this video first, and based on other users like this, if we show you this video second, you're likely to watch that. And then they just keep testing this, and they test it millions of times for like every video that you see to be like perfectly tailored to you in just the right amount of time. And I bet they know too, like if a video's too long or it's boring and people click out, they're not going to show that video again. They're going to show you something else that's better.
Yep.
Everything you see is tailored. It's like it's accumulation of how many millions of hours of testing that go into just the first few videos that you see on TikTok. This is bad. Macy sent me a TikTok of people trying. This is a Clips exclusive, guys. So you have to go and subscribe to the Clips channel to go and see this. If you're game on this, we don't have to.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Well, let's do it. Okay.
I guess.
Oh, I know what
I
it
don't know what I'm
is.
getting myself
I
into,
know
but
what
yeah.
it is.
We're all going to do it together.
Okay.
So don't think that like we're going to subject just you
Right,
to
right.
this.
All right.
It is the world's most sour candy.
I'm taking this.
If
We
you
all
want
are.
to,
Yeah,
if you
sure,
want
sure.
to. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to buy a house somewhere, and I'm looking at the different states that don't have income tax, right? Just because it makes sense. Like I don't have anything holding me down, so might as well just go live somewhere that also I end up saving money, and the money I save in income tax will basically pay for the house in a weird way. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out that, and I know you just moved to Nevada.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I love it. It seems like
Yeah.
so many people have moved here now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely people moving here from California. I see that. Like,
Yeah.
lots of my friends are just all over the
Right.
place. But what about the property here? Like, I feel like it's bubbly.
No, I think
It is, man. It
Okay,
is.
so first of all, everywhere is bubbly. There's not one place you could go. If you go like in the most rural parts, that's bubbly because everyone wants to get out of the city. Every city now is bubbly because people moved out and people are like, "Ooh, this is a good opportunity. I could get in." It's going to be the same no matter where you go. I think the benefit that you have of Las Vegas is that there seems to be such a huge influx of people coming from California. And I got to say, they're the people who are bidding up prices. I bet if you go, and Jack, you would know this, but I bet if you talk to most realtors out there in like the $500 to $1.3 million price point, and you ask them, how many people are coming from California? How many offers do you have from Californians? They would say at least 30%, maybe half. And what was it? When I was looking even, and this was like a year ago, over $1.5 million, they said the majority of those buyers were from California and New York wanting to move here.
Yeah.
That's the market. So I would say, in terms of property, gosh, Las Vegas is fantastic. You are competing with California money coming in, and everything here is like relatively cheap compared with there. But they're doing so much development right now that I can't see how over 20 years, like, you know, between now and like next year, I have no idea. But I can't see how like 10 years from now, 15 years from now, it wouldn't be more expensive than it is today. So I think over 10 years, I think it's a good investment.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it. I got to check out Vegas real estate. I'm probably going to go down to Houston tomorrow, look at some properties. You know, not everybody loves Houston. I've never been there, but like I know 10 people there, and I always ask them like, "How do you like Houston?" And they're like, "It's all right." But, their houses are so cheap. It's like you can buy a mansion for a couple $100,000. So I want to check it out, just like see if I like the area, because you wouldn't want to live somewhere that you don't like just for tax reasons. I think that'd be kind of like a waste, like you know, because that's where you're spending your life, right? There's some other interesting options though, like Alaska, a little bit far removed.
Right.
South Dakota, Wyoming, not a whole lot of like infrastructure there. You know, like if I want to find like accountants and stuff and like, you know, banks, it's a little bit more spread out. Florida, obviously Texas, New Hampshire. I think Tennessee doesn't really have much of an income tax now. In Washington State. So definitely some options. That's what I've been doing, exploring around with like my truck. I've been stopping through the states, looking at towns. I think there's just going to be a time where it's like, it's just right. Like I stop in a city, I stop in a town. I'm like, this is the place.
What's your favorite so far that you've seen?
Of those states?
Yeah.
I would probably have to say, obviously, I really liked Austin. I mean, I just liked how young everybody was. Seemed like it was really up and coming, you know, doing well as a city. property taxes were really expensive, but definitely like Austin. And, I like Florida because it's so close to everything else on the East Coast. I love being East Coast time, like New York time. So, yeah.
That's something I didn't consider is just the time zone of it.
Oh, I can't stand like being in Pacific time. It kills me because if I wake up here at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's already 10 o'clock. Like the market's already opened. It's 3 hours earlier in New York. So I love being on the East Coast. I actually love being on Europe time even better. Like if you're in London, because then you can, wake up at, 8 a.m. and it's 3 a.m. back in New York and you're ahead of everybody, so you can really get the day started there.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think the benefit of Las Vegas is that you're so close to the west side and like Southern California. So if you want to go to the mountains, you want to do all that sort of stuff, go to the beach,
Yeah.
it's really close.
Yeah.
That's the benefit. A lot of people are also here. They're really business friendly, no state income tax. But Florida would be very tempting too, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people. Miami's a lot going on there, so it'd probably be a little bit outside of Miami, up closer to like, Boca or something.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you wanted to like maybe buy a mansion. I figured that sounds kind of atypical for,
Did I
for
say that?
Nate. Well, you said you can buy a mansion for like a few $100,000.
Oh, yeah, you could, yeah. I mean, I don't want a huge house. I'm thinking like 2,000 square feet, maybe. That's not... Is that average? I'm not sure what the
Yeah,
average size
that's
house
pretty-
is.
that's
Average
good.
is probably 1,500 square feet.
Okay, yeah, so somewhere around that is what I would go for. So if I buy something in certain areas in Texas, yeah, it would be like, probably $200,000. And at that point, I'm even wondering if I should just buy it in cash. And I know you're going to disagree with that probably, right?
How much would you be looking for?
Say if it was like 200,000 or 250,000.
Cash.
Yeah, you think it's
Yeah,
better?
I do. I do.
I'm happy
listen-
that you say that because
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards it.
Yeah, I just think for your income and like your position, is it worth it to get a loan?
Yeah.
Financially, it probably is because you're going to be able to use that as a good write-off. But I also think that, is it worth it then to save like an extra? We'll call it like $2,000 a year. Maybe is how much you're going to save by having a mortgage. You're going to pay off. Maybe, $2,000 a year. Is that worth it? I don't know.
And there's time involved with that too, because anytime you're self-employed, I feel like, it's just more problematic with home loans and everything. And I feel like I might just be better off just doing cash. And I kind of view it in a way of like, if you look at income, it's almost if somebody was making $50,000 a year buying a car in cash, like it's not a huge thing. I
Yeah,
guess.
I would say for you and knowing your lifestyle and not having like a lot of overhead, I just think having a mortgage for you, I think would be like another little
Yeah, it would
checklist
be,
in your
yeah.
mind. Oh, the mortgage get paid this month. And the one thing I don't like with the mortgage is so silly, but they require that property insurance is sent in every year. And I had one that it's not that it lapsed, but there was like a day or two where I forgot to pay the insurance and they canceled the policy, but they have to send a notice to the mortgage company. And then they issued me like a $35 like fee or something like that per
Yeah,
day that I didn't
yeah.
have insurance by mistake. It's just like stuff like that is just kind of silly. I don't like that. And also, I mean, you're not going to have this issue, but when you're getting other loans, they want proof of your mortgage payments on everything else with property tax. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Beyond a certain point, it's just not really worth it to save a small amount.
Yeah.
So
I'm really happy you're saying that because
Yeah.
I've been on the fence because like most people say, why would you buy cash? It sounds stupid,
Yeah.
but yeah. thanks
yeah,
for
but
that.
financially, it's probably a little bit better. But I think for you mentally,
Yeah.
it'll be easier. Just pay cash, be done with it. Don't have any lenders to talk to, nothing like that. If you put out one more video and the time it takes you to speak with lenders, shop around the rate, send them all of your information and close in the house, that one video would pay probably double what you would save by having a mortgage that year.
that was my line of thinking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So that's my response to you. But I think you'd be happy in Florida. I think you'd be happy in
Do I look
Nevada.
like a Florida guy, like Florida man?
You could.
The
Florida's
button,
a cool,
man.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's the button.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're perfect for Miami.
Oh, great.
Yeah. But I could also see Texas because if you're looking to travel, I mean, that's like right in the middle of the country. You could pretty much go anywhere and be equal distance from like the East Coast as you could from the West Coast.
Yeah, and that's why I need a big airport nearby. So that's why I was thinking Houston, maybe
Huge,
Dallas.
yeah.
Being within an hour of a major airport because I just travel so much. It's like I couldn't be in Wyoming. That's why. You know,
Right.
It's just too far off the grid.
But why would you buy a house if you're planning on traveling and doing all of that so much?
I want because I want a place that I can like have a home base at if I want to come back and work for 2 months straight. Like, because there are times where I'll just go in like a grind and I'll just work, right? And I want the ability to do that because right now, like, you know, I had my apartment. Sometimes I'll go back to my brother's house and just like he has a bunch of rooms, so I'll just like stay there for a week and just crank work. But I want a place to do that. And also like keeping the same address and everything, it would just be nice as well. Instead of like imagine you have apartments and you're moving around and you like change all your addresses like every year. It just seems like a big pain with like bills and taxes and everything. Yeah. So I want a home base.
That makes sense. Yeah, you know what? For something like that, I just buy a place like $200,000.
So we got one question. It was from a woman called Sass, and she just said, "When will you get a haircut?" And I said, "Me or Nate?" And she said, "Both." When are you gonna get a haircut?
You know, I actually gave myself haircuts like probably more often than I don't. Well, wait, I worded that wrong, but you know what I mean. I give most of my own haircuts, but probably I'll get a haircut whenever I go back to Pennsylvania. Like back to my when I go visit my parents, there's a barber I like there, and I only go to that barber. And I'm either going to the barber,
Cutting it
or
yourself.
I'm cutting it myself because I don't trust anybody else.
Wow, Jack, who cut your hair this last time?
I cut my hair.
Yeah,
Actually,
see,
for the first
right?
time ever,
It's
myself.
It's honestly better. Like it might not look as fresh and clean, but
It's quick. It saves time, saves money.
yeah, and you get better doing it like in the mirror. And it's all like reversed and stuff,
Yeah.
but like over time you just get better with it.
Why don't you just do a buzz cut? I feel like for you, just
You
on the
look
road,
good,
you
man.
just oh
Yeah.
my, you would look like tough.
Really,
like
really
a
good.
buzz cut.
I'm gonna save the buzz cut for when I go bald. You know, like
Oh, just to clear it all off.
I might as well just have the hair now. Like
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
everybody in my lineage just goes bald. So it's like, all right, it's
What age?
pretty early, like 20s. So I
Really?
mean,
I mean, your
think that's
hairline
good.
is
Your hairline
immaculate.
is perfect.
I hope
It's-
I'm good. I mean,
I was actually analyzing that earlier today.
Oh.
Your hairline is it's incredible.
all right, yeah. Well, it's holding strong for now, so we'll see. But yeah, the buzz cut. I feel like I'll have plenty of time in my life where I'll end up with buzz cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you would look good though with the buzz cut and grow out the beard a little bit.
Oh yeah, should I grow out the beard? Because people are 50-50 on it, and like I hate shaving. It's just such a pain.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've done that?
What, shaved?
Yeah, no, grown it out.
I've never.
Do it. 100% do it. Grow it out just to see what it looks like. Why would you not?
Yeah, I guess so. I
I
don't know.
agree with that.
It's like 50-50 though. Like it's the only negative comments I've ever gotten. Like one time I didn't shave for like 2 weeks, and people are like, dude, you need a razor, man.
You know
like
what? Because you have a very youthful look that when you're clean shaven, it takes like 10 years off.
yeah.
That's what I think it is.
I think I'm gonna go beard because the fall's coming up. It's like going into winter.
Yeah.
You need a little,
Right,
little,
the
like-
warmth.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
You look
All
pretty
right,
cool
so-
like with what you got right now.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think I'm done shaving, so I won't shave until I come back on the podcast.
Ooh, that'll be
What?
great. Wow.
Yeah, there we go.
5 years
Deal.
from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right, I think we're good.
Hey, Nate, thank you so much for coming. It's been a blast.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's always great meeting up, and I love this new studio you have here.
This is the first episode, so
honored.
congratulations.
No,
I'm
we're
very
honored.
honored.
But one big question: have you got your free stock yet from Public? Down below in the description, because they raised it. It's all the way up to $1,000 now.
Really?
Really,
Wow.
$1,000.
I did get my free stock. I used your link.
Yes.
I also have a link, but
You do. Wow.
No, yeah.
Alright.
Use the link in the description below to get your free stock,
That's a good endorsement.
and make sure you finish creating your account. Like
Yeah.
don't half-ass it. Finish your account.
You gotta finish
connect your
it.
bank account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Link it.
Yeah,
Link your bank account and add the Clips channel down below in the description.
yeah.
Cool. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Nate, thank you so much for coming out here. I will link to your information down below in the description. Feel free to add us on Instagram. We post, Jack, you got to post there more often on Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that Jack in the Box is following you.
Jack in the Box followed me on Instagram.
Isn't that
It's
cool?
Huge.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. You better get that
Huge.
sponsor.
Yeah. Jack in the
Oh.
Box. If you're watching right now, feel free. I'll take anything. Okay, I'll take anything as a
Anything,
sponsor. You
just
want to give
free
me a jumbo
burgers.
jack to eat it on the podcast? I'll do it.
That would be incredible for them to sponsor the podcast, like just an episode
I'll
where
take
we just
anything.
have Jack in the Box.
We'll
yeah.
eat Jack in the Box.
I'd be
It's
fine with
so
that.
good. I love
Yeah,
it.
I'd be
Yeah.
fine with that. So Jack in the Box, we got to make that happen. Also, Black Forest Wood Company. Thank you so much for this table. I will link to their information down below in the description. I can't speak of this table highly enough. It's incredible. You have to like truly see it in person to appreciate it. But if you want any work done similar to this, 10 out of 10. They're absolutely incredible. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.
This one? Okay. Yeah. Cool. Shall I go?
Yeah. Go.